Hi, Paint Branch. It's Ebony. Thank you so much for giving me a few minutes of your time to talk about the eighth principle. The eighth principle starts with Paula Cole Jones and Bruce Pollack Johnson. Both of them co-wrote the eighth principle back in 2013. Since then, a number of congregations all over have adopted the eighth principle. This came about from Paula and Bruce's years of both of them understanding that a person can believe they're being a good you and follow the seven principles and do so without thinking about or dealing with racism and other oppressions at the systemic level. The eighth principle is not a Black people thing. Racism and other oppressions affect all minority and disenfranchised people. We see that now with racists not even just attacking Black people, but also attacking our Asian siblings and community. The eighth principle came from a feeling that we need something to renew our commitment to this work, to hold ourselves accountable, and to fulfill the potential of our existing seven principles. The UUA itself, as an organization, has not had, they've had a not so great track record of supporting minorities. And this track record has only just begun to turn the corner in a very positive direction. They are now demonstrating deep multicultural inclusivity and structural change. As a point of reference, it's important to know that the UUA has done really well with women becoming ministers and leaders. And the seven principles themselves came out of the women's movement within UUism. Also, the LGBTQ community is also well represented as members and ministers, RE staff, and other leadership within individual congregations and within the UUU. For example, the Welcoming Congregation program has been very effective. Yet, we could use something similar for racism, and this eighth principle can help with this. The UUA has also made good progress with people who are differently abled. However, we need more process and programs around anti-racism, which impacts both people of color and white people, and everyone else. And that brings us to the question of, what is beloved community? The eighth principle language uses the term beloved community. What does that mean? Beloved community happens when people of diverse racial and ethnic, educational, class, gender, sexual orientation, backgrounds, and identities come together in an interdependent relationship of love, mutual respect, and care that seeks to realize justice within the community and in the broader world. We need an effective mechanism or structure to ensure this, similarly for other oppressions. Our existing seven principles imply this eighth principle, but do not explicitly hold us accountable for addressing these oppressions directly, especially at the systemic level. This reminds us that dismantling racism, white supremacy, and other oppressions requires work at the personal and institutional levels. This also reminds us that the UU principles were designed to be dynamic, not a fixed creed. It means we want to always continue to be educating ourselves, exploring truth, and raising our consciousness. None of the other principles mention love. By having beloved community in the eighth principle brings our commitment to love higher in our consciousness, where it should be. So now you may think, okay, what can I do to help? Well, thank you for asking. My ask is that, and I'm speaking on behalf of DART, as a co-chair of DART and as a lead for the eighth principle initiative, our ask is that you join us and in our campaign to light the chalice for the eighth principle. This means at your next committee or group meeting that you light the chalice for the eighth principle. I'll send you some language you can use, or it may be in the chat or whatnot, but it's going to sound like this. We light this chalice to hold sacred our journey in understanding and applying the eighth principle. a principle which is at its heart connects us in solidarity with the oppressed and celebrates deep multicultural beloved community. By lighting this chalice for the eighth principle, we affirm and promote spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community by our actions that are accountable to dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and in our institutions. And if you're willing, chat about it with each other, discuss it, even consider adopting it as a group, which the RE committee has already done. Then live by the eighth principle. Act on it. Consider visiting the eighth principle website. 8 as in number 8, TH for eighth, principleuu.org. And this is a website where I got a lot of the history and background information that I shared today, pretty much all of it. You can read it and learn more at the eighth principle website. That's 8th principleuu.org. Again, that's 8, like the number 8, TH principleuu.org. So thank you for your time, and please send me any questions or ideas you have, because, we're in this together. May it be so.